Welcome to From Rock Bottom, the podcast where we explore real stories of struggle, survival, and strength. Each weekly episode features honest conversations with people who faced mental health battles, addiction, trauma, and life's darkest moments, and found a way to rise again. A quick content warning: some of the topics we discuss may be distressing or triggering. We talk openly about mental health, addiction, and other sensitive issues. Please listen with care, and if you need to, take a break or reach out for support. You're not alone, and this space is here to remind you of that.
Boom, and we are on. Today I'm joined by Dan Wharton, one of the founding members of True North Bikers, a biking community that supports those in the community with mental health and veterans. Dan's here today to tell us his story of his own struggles and the journey to True North Bikers.
Yeah, man.
Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, good. All good.
Good, man. Dan, just like everyone, mate, I like to start from the childhood. Take me back to the start.
So my childhood was good. I didn't have an external family. So my family was my mum and my dad and my sister. There was obviously fallings out when I was younger. But I had everything I needed, everything I wanted, and more. My dad would instow the old values, the old principles. I went to work when I was 8 years old. Rather than sitting down watching cartoons and all that sort of stuff, I was going out working, fitting floors. I did the old Princess Royal Hospital. He'd pay me £5 a day. He would take me to the shops, see what I wanted, PlayStations, bikes and all that sort of stuff. Every week he would take me. So we'd go and do a day's work, have a bacon sandwich with the lads, have the banter, have the crack, and keep taking me back to that same shop that if I wanted BMX. After 10 weeks, if the BMX was 100 quid, after 10 weeks got to 50 quid, do you still want it? Yeah, still want it, and then you go and get it. So he taught me the values very, very, very early on, which is a good thing,
Yeah.
and then at the same time it's a bad thing, in a way where I push. So I push past physical limits, mental limits, which as you get older you learn that and a good thing.
Yes.
So it's good and bad, but I'm learning more about myself to know where that limit is now, rather than pushing past. Did a load of extracurricular activities, fighting, kickboxing from a really young age, 4. Got to a decent level of that, decent standard of that. It was always badminton, football, rugby. There was always something.
Yeah.
It was always very, very, very structured. The only thing I will say about my mum and my dad, they shown love in a very different way. So it was putting the core values in and the principles and to push yourself, but there was never the cuddle, the kissing, the I love you.
Yeah.
It was only until actually later on in life where I suffered with the depression. My dad and my mum started to realise a couple of things, and I think when was the first time my dad said anything? Might have been actually in my crash, which was last year. I had a motorbike crash last year, November, so I would have been 37. So from the age of 37, that's the first time my dad said, I love you, son.
Do you think that affected you growing up?
The thing is how can you say affected? Because
Like, I think a child craves the mum and dad's approval and love and affection, like do you know what I mean?
But then, what's that question of what's love? Everyone's got a very different dynamic of love, haven't they? So their love was to give me the best, show me the best as well, not just freely.
Yeah.
It was, if you're going out and you're going to do something, if you want something, you've got to go and earn it, basically. And I learned that from a very, very young age. So I can't turn around and say that it was a bad childhood, because it wasn't at all. Did I probably rebel because I probably wanted the approval? Yeah, probably. in my sort of teenage years and stuff, I'd turn around to my mum and go, I'm going out here, I'm going on somewhere else.
Yeah.
Going out, I'm just sleeping over down at my mate's house. No, we were actually going down the woods and taking drugs and going out on the rob and causing fights and all that sort of stuff.
It's hard finding that middle ground though as a parent. I think, like, if you give too much love, you're going to make them a bit soft, and they can, as soon as they struggle at the first hurdle, they'll cry, and then they'll know you'll pick them up. And then if you go the complete opposite ends, you could create a very cold child.
I think being a parent, you're damned if you don't and damned if you do.
Hardest job in the world.
Yeah, but at the same time, the most important.
Yeah.
The most important. It's my oldest, Isabella. I probably made every single mistake possible with her, and that has damaged her. So now with her, I'm more of a sit back, support, and teacher, and my experiences through that. And within teaching her, I can also explain why I did the things that I did back then. She's 17 now, so she can understand it as well. When she's got situations going on, she's actually started a journaling social media. So she helps teenagers and children through mental health struggles through journaling. So when she has things go wrong with that, or she'll ask me my advice. So what I'll do is I won't give her my advice. I'll give her every single situation that I can think of, and then let her make that decision. Yeah. And then she can make them good decisions and bad decisions and learn from them decisions. Yeah. But yeah, 100%. I'm a very different parent with my youngest, who's 3, than what I am with Isabella. Yeah. I'm just a lot more relaxed now. Before with Isabella,
I think you get softer the more kids you have. You get softer.
Yeah, and I think you realise as well that you haven't got to be strict. Yeah. You haven't got to be overbearing. Let them be who they are, and sort of. I think if you fight against that, that's where the rebel will come. Support them, find out who they are, as well. Yes, you can mould them. Yes, you can teach them all the morals and principles, but doesn't mean they're going to follow it, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
They can still make that wrong choice. Everyone can have a spoon-fed life, silver spoon, and still end up in jail.
Of course.
So make the wrong decision at the wrong time. So it's very hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to your childhood. Yeah. So your dad's raising you good, teaching you all the lessons, teaching you to be a man in reality. Yeah. Back when you were young, what was your outlook on mental health and stuff? Did you ever see anything? Did you ever experience anything yourself, or just a normal?
So, I suppose with my younger self, there was no such thing as mental health. I got the fight inside of me was because I started from the age of 4. By the age of 10, 11. So early on in the primary school, I actually got bullied. I was a fat kid. I had blonde, bowl-head hair. Didn't look the best. I always used to shave my name in the back of my head and tram lines and all that.
I used to have the night tick.
Yeah. Back in the day. It was funny because I always wanted to be different. I didn't want to be the norm. I didn't want to follow what the norm was. I wanted to be different. And I got bullied for that. But I also got taught in the fighting world, but also with mum and dad as well, that you don't start nothing. You finish it, but you don't start nothing. So I was still that scared little boy until I was probably 10, 11. And then when I was 10, 11 and I started to fight, what happened was I started to fight teenagers, started to fight adults. I would get knocked out. I'll get bruised, broken bones, everything like that. I'll get pushed past my limits. And it was only until, and it probably took another good couple of years, till I was 13, that I actually had my first fight in the school. Yeah. And it was against my biggest bully. And what I learned was, within 30 seconds, it was over. So I had years and years of abuse. Every time I went round the corner, I'd get pushed, pinched, name calls, all that sort of stuff. And it was over in 30 seconds. And then in my head then, everything changed was, I can do this. I can do anything. So the mentality where my first trainer was spot on. He was nurturing, caring, push you past your limit in a nice way. But I'm a child. My second trainer, he would spit, growl, call you names, everything like that. But then after, he'd give you a hug.
Yeah.
He would push you past that limit. So my mentality in mental health was, I didn't know what it was because I was a child. I was only worried about getting bullied, school, football, and all that sort of stuff. But as soon as I had that first fight, and I changed schools after that as well, I was a different person. I was in the gym all the time. I lived in Market Drayton, so I used to bike from Market Drayton to Wem every day. And I used to beat the bus. But then that gave me, I was getting fitter, I was getting stronger, I was getting independent. On the way home, I'd go and hang out with my mates down in Nodnett. I'd go down into Market Drayton, hang out with my mates before I go home, start getting in trouble. So my mentality now as a teenager was, I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable, I can push past all my limits. Every time I went to work, I wanted to be faster. I wanted to do the rooms quicker than my dad now. So that gave me a different persona to who I could possibly be. And then when I was 16, I was at a party with a friend, and I had football the day after. And if I had a fight or football match, I'd never drink that before. So we were at this party, and I had this drink off a girl that I was trying to see at the time. Small WKD, just had one of them. Necked it. Before I knew it, I jumped off the garage roof. And I shattered my heel and broke my arm in 3 places. Oof. Got spiked. And I found out later that it got spiked by one of my mates that was trying to get her. So I got date raped.
Yeah, just trying to put you out of the game.
Well, it wasn't even me, because I drank her drink because she didn't want it.
No way.
So he was trying to get her.
So you and your mate wanted the same girl.
Nobody knew.
Yeah, nobody knew though. But he
was doing it the bad way.
So he tried to date rape her, but she gave you the drink unbeknownst.
Yeah, because I actually walked in to the hospital. So that's where the mentality of, as a child, didn't know what it was. Now I'm untouchable. Now I'm in hospital, shattered my heel, broke my arm, cut my face up, gone through all this operations. School didn't matter then. But I tell you what, if I didn't have that mentality of being untouchable, I wouldn't be walking, because they were talking about taking my foot off because it was smashed that much. I just went play it and pin it. So the mentality of what I had as a teenager, that got me through that period. And without the kickboxing, the mentality and all that sort of stuff, I wouldn't have done it.
Was that your fighting career done with that?
Nope.
No.
Come back. So the school life was done. I weren't bothered about school in the slightest. Failed pretty much all my exams. All I was bothered about was walking again. Sod everything else, it was walking again. And from then, I trained more. If the physio turned around and said to me, so because my heel was shattered and ankle was shattered, it was at an angle, but I had to keep moving it and flexing it. So it was going at, I was pulling it at an angle, basically keeping it free from setting. Because before they operated on it, they wanted all the swelling and everything to go down. So if they turned around and said to me, do 10, my mentality was, if I could do 20, 30, I'm doing 20, 30. And that's what got me through the physio side of it.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, I don't regret nothing.
Because if you didn't have that drink, you'd have been healthy and fine, but...
I'd have been in the army and everything.
Yeah.
I would have followed that path. I was by that time I was a floor layer. I was a floor fit. That's what I used to do with my dad. So my dad never ever wanted me to get into it because it's knackered his body up. So at that time I was working as a floor layer. I think I had a job at Countrywide as well, just in the back, warehouse lad. And it made me if that never happened, I would have gone into the army. I would have had an army career, because the training, the stability, the being told what to do,
discipline.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So my life completely changed. I met a woman, decided, right, I don't want to go in the army now, and that was it. I was going to continue being a floor layer, and I actually had 3 jobs then. So it was there, working with my dad, it was Countrywide, and then I was also loading cars on transporters at night. I always had to keep busy. I always wanted nice cars. I was a boy racer back in the day, Vauxhall Corsa, tune it up, put the bloody Cleaver exhaust on the back so it was louder, straight through and that. It was good, but then obviously I met my partner at the time, Isabella's mum, and then that was it. Because I've always wanted a family as well.
Yeah.
I've never done, all the way through school, I have never ever been one for sleeping around, one night stands and all that. I've always wanted a family. I had loads of girlfriends, but it was, I want the family, I want probably what my mum and dad give me, if I'm honest. And that's where we ended up having Isabella at a young age, getting a house. I ended up working for a building firm. I remember it vividly, £140 a month, 40 hours a week. And I was motorbike, car, I had a works van, and running the house and having a baby, all at the age of 20. So
you had everything.
What I thought.
Yeah, so it seemed.
Yeah, what I thought. And I was always the person to, still to this day, problem solver. Everybody would always come to me because strength, get shit done, push forward. And I very much realised quite quickly in the early 20s, Isabella was probably about 3. Ed went, now I knew what mental health was.
Why? What brought that on?
I reckon that was probably the combination of that first fight, to put in that much pressure on myself to be something different. And that something different went pop. So mental health for me, anxiety, depression and all that, that's your head telling you that something's not right with your life. Mm-hmm. I've obviously been suppressing that. In my early 20s, I slowed down the fight inside of it, and I went to the gym. I was going to the gym. I couldn't just, whatever I did, I couldn't go into it 10%. It was 110%. So when I started going to the gym, my diet's changed. I would eat cold mash and pork because it was cheap. That'd be every single day. To put weight on, I'd start now putting olive oil on it, for cheap fats. Mm-hmm. To fill the meals out when I was getting hungry, it was broccoli. It was finding cheap ways to still achieve what I wanted to achieve. But then the frustrations of going shopping every week, knowing you've only got £40 to spend to feed 3 mouths, but then also my mouth that wants to be a bodybuilder.
Concentrate on your own goals.
Yeah. So that constant pressure, week in, week out, worrying about numbers all the time. That's what the build-up was. But then the repetitive of, I've now got to go to work, I've got to come back from work, I've got an hour with the family, 6 o'clock training till 7:30, come back, protein shake straight away, got to eat last thing before I go to bed, so it's usually around 10, half 10, go to bed, take all my pills and supplements, go to sleep. And I lived that life with Isabella and her mum for a good 2 years, 3 years. And I think it just went completely just autopilot. And I think that was a constant, or everything. I don't think I ever processed anything that happened from that first fight to in the early 20s. And I just went bang. I went to the gym one day. The level that I got at the gym was I was eating 8 meals a day and probably once in the night, just to try and get bigger, try and get leaner, and try to get as strong as I possibly can. And when I look back at that now, it was to divert from leave me alone. It was as simple, I wanted to get big, and people would leave me alone.
Like an armour.
100% it was armour. So it was my mental armour.
Yeah.
Take one look at me, sod that, leave me alone. And if I started to rear up a little bit, they would leave me alone. Or 9 times out of 10 they leave me alone, because I just can't be bothered with the fighting anymore. I couldn't deal with people probably finding out what I was struggling with. People used to make jokes that you walk around and look like you want to kill everybody. When I was in the gym, I actually had to leave a gym because it wasn't a bodybuilding gym, it was more a commercial gym. I near enough got told to leave because you look like you want to kill everybody. I'm like, but that's my mentality when I'm training. But I didn't realise that when I'm not training, I look the same. And that's what people's perception of me was.
Yeah.
So that isn't what I wanted to be. So I actually, when my head finally went, and it went bang, I went to the gym one day and I lost weight. So I was putting weight on, but I lost weight. Head went. So my head went. I wanted to end my life. That was it. That was the first thought in my life. And so I just wanted, that's it, I'm done, gone. So I left the gym, drove up to my mum's, heading up towards my mum's. But I didn't want to go and see my mum, but I was driving towards my mum's and my dad's. Still had the thought in my head that, right, that's it, I'm done. And I was thinking of, right, this is how I'm going to do it. And for some reason, I got to my mum's. And I just walked into my mum and dad's, which I don't do very often anymore, which I know I should. Walked into my mum and dad's, and I just looked straight at my dad, and I went, I can't talk to you. I need to go and talk to mum now. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Mum took me in the bedroom, and I just broke in every way that I possibly could. Whatever I thought I could break, I did. And I thought it was all down to, I blamed it all on the relationship. Got nothing to do with the relationship at all. It was me.
Yeah.
It was me that was, I just couldn't take what was going on in my head, the monotony, not being happy with where I am in work. It just got all too much, and I blew, didn't want to be here. That was when I started to learn that there is mental health. There is something out there that will kill you. Apart from a crash, cancer, all that sort of stuff. There's something out there that will and can kill you. So what, that was 13, 14 years ago. Within that 13, 14 years, they tried to put me on medication. Mum took to the doctors, obviously, the day after. Tried to put me on the medication, and didn't take it.
Yeah, cool.
Again,
mentality.
I'm untouchable. I don't need this. I'll figure it out myself. And because I didn't take it and wanted to do it all myself, I got hardly any support, because again, that was probably my fault, because I blamed it on the relationship. I distanced myself straight away, but again, I probably distanced myself because I didn't want people to see that I probably didn't know that there was something else then, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I've only probably started figuring that out in the last 5 years of my life. Looking back when Isabella's back in my life, I'm now open myself to think about what happened back then. But what did highlight for me is that all these people that come to me for help, not one of them was there at all.
Yeah.
The family that I thought that I had on the other side didn't bother at all. All the friends that I thought I had within, obviously having the relationship, they took her side, which I'm grateful for because she needed that nurturing. Because of the way the relationship was, she wasn't her, she was me.
Yeah.
Because I was so overbearing with my life, she just mimicked what I did.
Her life revolved around yours.
Very much so. So it wasn't a relationship, it was just me. If I walked through the door, it'd be there's a TV remote. And that isn't what I wanted at all. But because I didn't understand what I was going through, I couldn't convey that at all. So that's what I mean by I was playing a relationship.
Yeah.
But once I went to the doctors and all that, I made every wrong decision possible. Everyone.
That's all.
Rather than sitting there and looking at myself, I tried to find it in other people. Get in the wrong relationships. Turn to drink. Sleeping rough. Sleeping in my car. Sleeping on friends' houses. Upsetting people that I cared about. Didn't turn to drugs. Thought about it, but kept away from it. I was very good at, still am very good at, putting on a face. It's a 9 to 5. I could be whoever I want. But then when I'm by myself, that's when the darkness.
Yeah, so the force creep out.
Very much so. And that's where I'd make all the mistakes. Sleeping with the wrong women, talking to the wrong women. I was always trying to find it in everybody else. And that's what led me to getting into a narcissistic relationship. So...
Well, before we come on to there though,
we
go to there, we'll go back to the mental health.
Yeah.
So people listening, listen to your stories like, oh, he went to the gym, he didn't gain weight, so his head fell off, he wanted to kill himself. But it's not as easy as that. You obviously had a lot of underlying issues, never addressed, just completely hidden with this persona.
Yep.
I'm a big, strong, tough guy, stay the fuck away from me. But in reality, you ain't addressed that scared little boy who's being bullied.
100%.
And then you just going to the gym, something trivial of not gaining weight, that's that trigger point will just set you over the edge.
Yep.
And it can happen with anything. It's happened to me many times. Like something like I'm big on routine. If I'm scheduled to go to the gym at 9 a.m. and if I ain't in that gym for 9:15, my head's fell off. My day's ruined. It's just how I am.
Yeah. And
unless you're like that as a person, it's hard to grasp it and understand it. But I completely see where he was coming from with it.
How come you're so disciplined and structured?
I'm bipolar.
Okay.
I need discipline. I've got on the fridge in the kitchen for the next 2 months what days I'm doing podcasts, what days my kids are sleeping over. I know I go to my gym set days each week. I know what days I'm getting tattooed. I know everything.
How long did it take you to understand the bipolar side?
Years. I started struggling with my mental health issues when I was hindsight when I was probably 13, but I didn't get help till I was 18. That was 7 years of a joke with the GPs because they only look at rashes and lumps and bumps and that kind of thing, not complex mental health conditions like bipolar. So I got diagnosed when I was 24, 25, and then just that diagnosis could give me a better understanding of my condition, which I need to live with for the rest of my life. And
do you think that was a generation thing though? Do you think the GPs and with all the disorders, do you think that that's a generation because they've had to learn it?
Yeah, I think when I initially started going, I used to go to the doctor, and I was a child, like I had a normal childhood. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you, there should be nothing wrong with you, you've got no reason for it, you're depressed, you're 13, 14, fuck off.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm just low for no reason. I don't need a reason. I'm just low. Like, you don't need a reason to be depressed. It's the thoughts inside your head which you cannot control. And then sometimes them thoughts are so loud, you're fucking screaming saying, leave me the fuck alone. And they do not leave you alone. But I think when I first started getting help, there was no knowledge. And then eventually when I did get help, when I was 24, 25, there's more knowledge, but then no help.
Yes.
During the 6-month wait.
Yeah.
Sounds, I ain't gonna last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Never mind waiting 6 months.
100%. I completely resonate with that.
Yeah. So it was always, so when you were saying you just lose your head because you didn't gain the way you wanted, that was just boiling point for you. Something like that can push you over the edge. You just, a kettle waiting to boil. That's all it is, and you finally got that point. So I understand that completely.
It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Pressure cooker. And it wasn't just, that was my breaking point for that. Like you said before all that, if I didn't get the right sleep, if I ran out of creatine, if I couldn't get the right protein that I wanted, I had to have a certain protein. There had to be a certain manner before I went to the gym. I had to have my pre-workout, then I had to make my inter drink, I had to have EAAs in it, I had to have my protein shake within 5 minutes of leaving the gym. What? Because whatever was in my head, I needed to do that.
Yeah.
But pressure cooker.
If not, the day's ruined.
My week was ruined. It was there was a point fuck it, and I go to McDonald's and came in.
Yeah.
It was literally, and I still get like that, man. But it's like, if I feel like cack, the first thing I want to do is binge eat.
Yeah.
Binge eat, go and get a cigar, go and have a couple of drinks.
Couple of beers,
So I think I might as well fuck it all up, man. But rather than doing something too drastic now, I know that if I go and have a chocolate bar, I'll be okay. I've got it in my head that rather than, it's weird, isn't it? Because you feel a certain way, you always turn to something that hurts.
Yeah.
For me, it was going to the gym every time and making yourself hurt. Still to this, my struggles at the minute is because I can't go and do things that make me hurt. I used to self-harm as well. That was one thing that I missed out. So I used to hit walls. I used to run my knuckles all along the bricks just because it hurt. But that used to make me feel better.
Yeah.
The pain side of it.
Relieving it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not uncommon. I've seen that happen a lot. Do you regret that now, though, self-harming?
No, because where it is in me today, everything that I've been through and every negative that I've been through and put myself through, I can't help the people that I can help today if I don't experience that.
Yeah, of course.
And if I didn't make all them mistakes, hurt people and all that sort of stuff, I wouldn't know what it felt like to resonate with them. And I think with this day and age now is you can get help from information, but if you cannot resonate with that person, don't bother.
Yeah, of course.
Because people are that frustrated with society and the way that life is. If you're not attaching instantly to that person, and I mean within the first 30 seconds, you're not going to get nothing out of them at all.
Yeah.
So no, I don't regret the self-harm. I don't regret the suicidal nearly doing it. I don't regret the sitting there with a load of pills and going, right, that's it, it's over and done with. I don't regret where I am now.
Good.
It's the building blocks of it's what you do now, isn't it?
Yeah.
With all the trauma, you can still carry on that cycle of. I'm guessing that when you were suffering between the ages of 13 and 18, you made mistakes.
Yeah.
And we make them mistakes because I feel that we want to be noticed. If you're not listening to me while I'm sitting there reading my book, watching TV, you might listen to me if I go and rob a load of stuff from the shop, or I go and steal a load of booze from mum and dad, or I start smoking again. That might be the start of a conversation or a bit of love and care, because that's what we want.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So, at your trigger points, you're on your way to your mum's.
Yep.
Not planning on going there, but you do go there. How come you didn't follow through with it at that point?
I don't know. People ask me that all the time. I couldn't tell you why I didn't, and I've been around suicide a lot. I had a family friend who sat in front of a train with his arms and legs folded on a train track and got took out by a train. And people said to me that he had family, a huge family. He'd been telling people that he was going to do it for ages. He used to work cash in hand. He was on dodgy, so he used to work cash in hand. So every Friday, he used to come home, go to the pub, whatever was left from drinking at the pub, he'd go and put it in the tin at home. He went and did that, and then he went and sat in front of the train track. And it turned out in the video, because unfortunately there wasn't a lot left of him, the video that on the front of the train, he was watching it. And people say to me that surely he's got a family, he needs to be that, he's selfish and all that. And I thought like that as well when I was younger. That is a very selfish thing to do. But when you get that low and then thoughts start creeping in, it might be selfish to some people, but you do not care about a single thing.
And not even that, mate. I always say, because I've had the exact same conversations myself, if someone is actively trying to take their life whilst they've got fucking beautiful children at home, that shows how low and how worthless they feel in that
100%,
moment.
yeah.
It's not selfish, it's fucking mad. It's incredibly brave.
People don't know the internal torment of going through that, because they would have thought about that for months, if not years, about leaving them. They would have, that instant thought of, right, I don't want to be here, that would have triggered in their head, but I love them. And all the memories will start coming back of them. But there's a part of suicide where you detach. But that detachment isn't instant.
Yeah.
It takes time. So without you knowing it, you will ruin them relationships. You will tarnish all them good memories. The first time you've seen your child walk, you would tarnish that memory so you don't think about it. You would push them all. That's where I know where there's certain stages of suicide when I see people and they talk about it. That's my indicator for people when I look from the outside, if they're pushing people away, pushing the family away, if they're breaking their cycle, seeing how they talk, are they still bothered about eating at night? Are they still bothered about their routine? That's my indicator. But yeah, they would have spoke about that and thought about that for months, if not years. They would have tore every bit, and then when it comes to that final moment, they're actually at peace. Yeah. For them final few seconds before, or maybe minutes, they are at peace.
Because no, it's over.
Yeah.
The pain's over.
Yeah. It's yeah, and until you've been through it, you will never ever understand. You would think you would understand.
Yeah.
But you would never understand it. That's all.
That's what I mean. It's truly heartbreaking to know, like I've got 3 daughters, and like, do you know what I mean, you're a dad, and I always say now, I could never leave them.
No.
But like, do you know what I mean, with how strong my feelings are towards my kids, I presume every dad feels the same, and then like, knowing they're leaving their kids, like that takes a lot of...
Well, that's my catalyst now. So I've actually been, one thing that's come to light with the crash is I've had mental health assessments. So I've actually now been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, PTSD, and some fancy term suicidal thoughts. I have suicidal thoughts every single day now, 100%. It never wavers, it's every day. But that's okay, because I'm grounded. That strong, I now know that I'm not going to detach from the family, I'm not going to detach from my friends, I'm not going to detach from the purpose. But when I'm on my motorbike or in my car and I have that sudden feeling of, right, I'm going to go and turn into that car, I don't act.
Yeah.
I don't need to act. Like you said, that you can't stop the thoughts. I have an argument with people about suicidal thoughts, anxiety, depression, and all the other things. It's a choice. And people are like, no, it's not a choice, I can't help it. No, you can't help it. But the choice is what you do with it.
Whether you cave into it or not.
That's the choice. And they're like, oh, I've never understood like that. Because some people think ADHD is a curse. Some people think it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about accepting it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Accept it.
And working with it.
And using it to your advantage.
Like, I always say, like me with the bipolar, I'm medicated, I'll never beat it. Like, I'm constantly running away from it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that will catch me and fuck me.
But do you have a bit of time? So do you know that you've probably got a month and then you need 2-3 days?
No. I could be fine for 3 months, I could be fine for a week,
right.
and it will just catch up to me. But because now I understand my diagnosis, I can live with it better, and I can understand when thoughts and feelings are coming on, and I know when things are pending, and I can double dose my medication if needed. I can stay on top of it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm just constantly running from it, and that's okay. I accept that. Yeah. Sometimes it catches me, sometimes it don't, but I'm moving forward, and that's the most important.
Yeah. And moving forward, even if you move backwards, doesn't mean you're not moving forward, does it?
Yeah, of course.
And that's where people get, like, we think in the gym side of it when you miss a meal. Just because you're moving backwards a little bit doesn't mean that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take off the brakes, put on the brakes, slow down a little bit, and then regain and then go ahead.
Yeah.
For some reason, going backwards, people feel like that you failed.
I think it's learned lessons, that's why. I think it's stuff I've learned over time. So you learn to live with it over time. Like when I was young, I had no idea what I was doing. But we just learn lessons. So, back to you. You go and get help with a GP. How was that?
Shit show.
Yeah.
Absolute shit show. It still is today. So you would like to think, like you said about the generation thing, maybe 15 years ago, the doctors themselves didn't know how to diagnose it and deal with it and stuff. It's still like that now. So yes, they might have a diagnosis, but what do they do with that diagnosis? Jackal.
Yeah, the waiting list.
It's the waiting list, but then, I don't know, I think we live in a society where I don't want people, I think the NHS that we live in, I think people don't want you to be fixed. It's, or they don't know how to get you there. If I've ever wanted anything done medically and quick, I've paid for it.
Yeah.
I had skin cancer 2 months ago. I knew from January that I had a spot on my nose and it turned into a spot, so you think, well, you're going to squeeze it, and all of a sudden it just got bigger and more sore and all that stuff. It took me 10 weeks I had it for months, and then it took me 10 weeks from, I had a physical examination from the crash, and he said, what's that in your nose? I said, I don't know. He said, I'll go and get it looked at. So I thought, sod it, better go and get it looked at. And then it took me 10 weeks every single day, calling, going in, and near enough begging to see a GP. The only reason why I got through to the GP was 111 got fed up because I was doing it in the morning, in the day, and at night. 111 got fed up of me calling, and I spoke to a really, really nice doctor, because the doctor turned around and said, well, you're going to put a complaint in, aren't you? I'm like, well, no, I just want it. So you're going to put a complaint in, aren't you? Oh, okay. And I cottoned on. So I put in that complaint. The next morning, got a phone call for the GP. Before 12 o'clock, I got seen. 30 seconds sitting in that chair. Yeah, it looks like skin cancer. We're going to refer you to the skin cancer.
Yeah.
Within 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I was at the skin cancer thing, and it was like, yeah, does look like it. You have got a diagnosis of it. Unfortunately, there's a waiting list of 8 months to get it cut off. And like, this thing on my nose was getting bigger. It was constantly bleeding. I would knock off the scab. And then I just turned around to the lady. I said, look, how much to pay for it privately? So she gave me a number of a lady. Within 10 days it was cut off. But that was 400 quid later.
Yeah.
So, but then that 400 quid to get it off your nose, to make sure that cancer's gone, and to also find out what cancer it was as well, if I needed any more treatment and all that sort of stuff. It's the GPs, the mental health. I had a mental health assessment at a GP. I was more qualified than her.
Yeah.
Because through what I've been doing with True North, there's 7 of us, no 8 of us, that are all mental health first aid trained. So I'm going there, and all she was doing was just pushing leaflets out.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no support groups. There's no relating. There's no. You could tell that she was just tick boxing.
Mm-hmm.
It was fake.
Yeah.
The veteran side of it, I've heard so many telephone calls, recordings of people calling up the Samaritans, calling them up and listening to music down the phone, and then they answer the phone, and before they even talk, they just want details of them. So they do the tick boxing exercises. They put the phone down. They put the phone down and they shoot themselves. Because there's just none of that relating, there's none of that help. There's what the veterans are going through, I find very similar with what the community is going through. Is society, in my eyes, is done. There's a turning point where the little groups, the little people, they're starting to have a voice, they're starting to fight back a little bit more. That's what I'm starting to find.
Yeah.
But because we're all small and we're not making a big enough impact, we need to all start coming together to make that big enough impact for a change. But the GPs, the hospitals, Telford's and Shrewsbury's well known for being a really, really bad hospital.
Yeah.
If someone tells me that they're going in there, I worry.
In my experience, like I said, when I was young, teenager, feeling these ways, I didn't know why. I didn't even understand how I was feeling.
Yep.
I just couldn't express myself at such a young age. And again, I thought, why are you feeling this way? Like, you're looking for an answer, but there is no answer.
No.
So just give me, here's 2 weeks worth of antidepressants, fuck off, take them.
Yeah.
Come back, they ain't done nothing. Here's another 2 weeks of something else, fuck off and take them.
Yeah,
But
double dose.
after going for years, like I said, I didn't get diagnosed bipolar until I was 24, 25, but I did it when I was 18. So, got started when I was 17, 18. Me and my routine is to read newspaper every day.
Okay.
Had to read the newspaper. And if I didn't read it that day, I'd double read tomorrow. So I'd read news from 2 days old, but I still had to read that newspaper.
Okay.
I was very, slightly autistic like that, I don't know. But I had to read my newspaper, like I'd get cranky if I couldn't read it.
Right.
And I remember at one point I had a stack of newspapers like that. Went to my GP, I was like, listen, I get in a mood if I can't read. I have stopped reading. That shows something's not right with me. Give me 4 or 5 self-help books, which was the same thickness as a Bible, each of them.
Yeah.
Go and have a read of them and fill them in. Have you not I don't enjoy doing something I like, and now you're giving me books
To read.
and you're just sending me out the door. I literally put them in the bin outside the GP's at practice.
Yeah.
Then there's no follow-up call. Oh, are you still alive? Are you doing okay? There's nothing. I just think the way the country's getting out, this was years ago, and now where the country's getting worse. They're strangling everyone for every fucking penny they can. So you've got people with complex mental health needs and people who are just struggling in the moment, and they're all going to the same mental health services and they cannot fucking breathe because they've had their own cuts as well.
100%.
And it's on the verge of collapsing.
I'm really passionate about people, but I'm really passionate about my community. And I say my community is Shropshire. It's not just my community, Shropshire. It's where I've grown up. It's where I believe. The community in Shropshire is broke. Do I think it's broke beyond repair? No. But there needs to be, I can explain it. There needs to be a change, a push.
So you're getting your help. The help's absolutely shite.
Yeah.
But then you go into the downward spiral.
Yep.
Drinking, sleeping rough, women. Tell me about them things.
I think it's like we were talking about earlier, where I think that was the lashing out of upset to where I obviously was, lashing out to where I was in life, not understanding what I was going through. Like you said about the hospitals and the GPs, there was, if somebody, you're probably on the same wavelength, if somebody said to me that you're feeling this because of this, you need to do this, you'd follow it down to the T.
You got a plan then to get better?
There was always that plan. And like you said with the GP, there is, take that pill, do this, right, we'll call you back again in 2 weeks. You never get a call back. And you're just left to your own devices and you're lost. So I think all that side of it was frustration, and I've always, like I said previously, I have to hurt. I have to push myself and be in pain, because that was always my release. I've got high blood pressure, so I've experienced the same with you and the GP. Every time that you have high blood pressure, if they want to make a change, you got to do a week's worth of results, your bloods, and your review and medication every time. Them 3 things would take about 2 months to sort out. So if you're having side effects, if you're having high blood pressure, hypertension, TIAs, you can die in them 2 months.
Yeah.
But they're not bothered. So what I do now is I wait, I let them send all the letters, I don't go and get the prescriptions, and then I'll just wait until they call me and go, right, we'll do your bloods today, we'll do your blood pressure readings, and we'll sort your medication on that day. All right, same. That's easier than the 2 months
of course.
Of waiting.
Yeah.
So I just wait till it's at bare. They need to do something.
Yeah.
I'll put the ball in their court. But yeah, I think all the lashing out, the drink, that didn't last long, if I'm honest. I had to go through it. Same with the women's side of it. I had to go through that to know that I wanted the family, because I've always wanted the family, the perception of a family. I had to go through that. So I was going on constant dates. I was on constant dating sites, meeting different people. Before all that, I was actually quite shy.
Yeah.
I was actually quite nervous. But after the whole dating scene and stuff, that just rolled off the tongue. It was just I just got used to it.
Yeah.
That made me more confident. But then what it did do was it made me realise what I wanted and what I didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the drink. I was finding another outlet. So rather than, I knew that I didn't want to self-harm anymore. I obviously got to that age where, look, that's stupid. What's the point? So do what the next thing do is you turn to drink. Turn to the drink, that didn't work. So, and it didn't work because I knew that it was making me a lot more depressed. I could see myself sinking into a deeper hole. And that's another reason why I got into a narcissistic relationship, was I got given what I thought was the golden ticket. So that was after the women, the drinking, sleeping rough, sleeping on friends' beds and all that sort of stuff. So what I did was I got into this relationship and it was a family. It was instant.
Mm-hmm.
So she just split up with her fella. She's got a couple of kids. So I'm like, well, so we're ready, innit?
Yeah, pre-made family.
Pre-made family. So all I've got to do now is sort of shit out and support myself. And obviously then, how wrong was I? So whatever she wanted, I give. And before I knew it, I was caught up in trauma bonding, manipulation to its highest form. She would go out of her way to cause as much pain, as much carnage as possible, and then to hurt but then give me, can you go pick the kids up? Sleep together. There was always something at the end of it to, oh, everything's going to be all right now.
Yeah.
And I did that for 16 months. But again, I had to go through something that completely and utterly broke me, because now I know what narcissist is. Now I know what a narcissistic relationship is. Now I know what trauma bonding is, gaslighting. I lived it and breathed it and got through.
What was the worst thing you've seen in that relationship?
Me.
Yeah.
There wasn't me at all.
Lost yourself.
I had to destroy everything what I was, and that's what made me grow. So I wasn't happy with who I was at that point. Again, made a hell of a lot more mistakes, told more lies just because I didn't want to tell the truth. I didn't want to accept who I was and what I was at that time. But going through that made me destroy everything negative about my life. And I made a promise to myself that there was going to be no more shit, no more lies, and I attack everything head on. If someone doesn't like me for me, don't be in my life.
Yeah, of course.
And that's probably my most toxic trait now. When I say I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how well I know you, what I've been through you, if you're family, not family, if you're blood, not whatever, don't matter. If I'm done, I'm done, because I haven't got time for it.
Yeah.
I haven't got the effort for it. So in a funny kind of way, the worst time in the narcissistic relationship was the best time, because it made me realise that there's nothing left at all, and it also showed me that ain't what I want for my life and the people around me in it as well.
Yeah.
It was funny really, because when we ended, on the day that we ended, she went out on a date on Tinder and she met a lad, and I actually found out who this lad was, and I met up with him. Well, I didn't met up with him, I walked into his work and I told him everything what I'd been through, and he basically just turned around and said, look, the nicest possible sense, thanks, but I'm going to carry on. So I had to crack on. Seen him probably about 12 months after, and he formed a shadow of himself.
Yeah.
And I just laughed. I've seen him recently, and again, it's just a catalyst.
But I'm sure if someone would have told you before you jumped in with that, same, you'd have gone, nah.
Because it's amazing how powerful and manipulative people can be.
She'd have probably been the victim to him at first.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's what it was, wasn't it? It's that's what they do. Is I'm the worst person in the world. And you start to question that and believe that. So you think you're the manipulator. You think that you're the abuser. And you have to talk to yourself and go, am I? Because they get you to the point where you do something stupid.
Yeah.
You knock on the door in the middle of the night, you do stupid things, you try to protect yourself, and it gets thrown back in your face. That their job is to get everybody that was your friends, your support group, and turn them into their support group. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
How did that affect you in relationships moving forward?
Moving forward from relationships, I was very cut and dry. So the cut and dry side of it was, I knew where there was a point where I did not want to go again. And the point was how it made me feel in the relationship. I have no issues, no problem supporting people, and again, taking a bit of shit, because we're all damaged. We've all been through something. Don't want the perfect person. Don't need the perfect person, but what I need is that respect and that loyalty within that. And the relationship that I got into, that I'm with now, I've been together 6 years. She's the mother of my youngest. For the first 2-3 years, it was chaos. And it was always chaos because she's been through a hell of a lot. But if I hadn't been through what I've been through, we wouldn't be together.
Yeah.
Within a month, it would have ended. Because I've been through it, I understand. She used to do the same sort of thing what the narcissistic abuser used to do. But I know that she used to do it out of fear. It wasn't to hurt me.
Yeah.
She was doing it because she was fearful of being happy, being content, having support. Because she never had that, she had her own issues. And I could see that it was out of fear. And now, hand on heart, I wouldn't want anything any different. Because we would have to go through all that trauma and all that cack to get where we are now. And now we've got my 3 daughters, we've got the family, we've got a support network. When I have a crash, she supports me fully. Every decision that I make, she supports me 100%. But then she also knows that when she has her dark days and bad days, she knows that I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, of course.
It works. And it's like what I was saying about all the abuse that's happened and all the trauma. I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be in the relationship where I am. I wouldn't be helping and supporting people in the community like I am because I understand, I get it. I've made mistakes, 100% I have. But now I own them mistakes.
Yeah, you learn from mistakes.
It's only it's only bad if you don't learn from them.
Yeah.
We all fuck up, we all mess up. It's the whole hiding behind the lies, it's being deceitful. That's the problem, that's the issue.
I think, obviously, like you said, we all make mistakes. I think you have to own them. You have to sometimes put your hands up and say, yeah, I was a piece of shit to this person, I was a fucking horrible cunt, but can't change what I've done. All I can do is fucking apologise and try and be better.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've made my fucking fair share. I've been married twice.
Yeah. But again, you learn from all them mistakes, don't you? I think because I like to make it. If something goes on in my life, and you can read a textbook and go, this happens, this happens, this happens, it does nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go in it, live it, breathe it, do it, feel it.
Yeah, of course.
If it's good, great. If it's not, move on to the next. And just take it for what it is. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are too scared to put themselves in that position to feel. I think because we've been through trauma, we've been through abuse, we've been through the good and the bad, putting ourselves in situations don't scare us.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think a lot of people are scared of putting themselves in these situations to grow.
Yeah.
I think there's a hell of a lot of good people out there, but I think society, the community, and the way that life is now, people are scared to be good.
Yeah.
They're scared to feel. I think that's where I think what you're doing and what I'm trying to do as well is give that platform that you can be good.
Exactly.
You just put yourself out there a little bit and have that support.
Yeah. Back with you to your mental health.
Yep. No.
No, not now.
Cool.
Back then.
Yeah.
How did you find telling people? Like, was you embarrassed?
So, no. I was going back to the when people say I used to walk around like I kill myself. I wanted to kill people. When I popped, I think I had 2-3 days back off work, jumped back into work, and it was most of the lads used to say that, and they made that comment. So obviously, legs gone, popped. I'll probably look more pissed off than I ever have done now. And one lad makes that comment. Oh, you look happy today. You look like you're going to go and kill somebody. And I bit his head off. I turned around and went, you do know that every time you say that, I want to go and kill myself. And I shut him straight down. And I sat there and I told him all the emotions that I've had. I told him all of the feelings and the thoughts. He didn't know what to say. My dad, I got the same yourself. What you got to be depressed about? You've had a good life. you've got money, you've got support, you've got family. Why should you ever be depressed? And my dad just don't get it. The more I knew that the only time that things were going to change is if I tell people. When it comes to mental health and what I feel, I have verbal diarrhea. You're going to know how I feel, good or bad, whether if it's suicidal, not suicidal, if there's a plan in place, whatever, you'll know how I feel. If people want to accept that, sweet. If they don't, again, get gone. Or not get gone and be educated. I created something with another group called the Breath of Life, called Make a Difference. And the Make a Difference was, we hold a sign with the stats of men's mental health and suicide in the UK. But we stand there with a snud over our face. So that resembles men's silence to suicide and mental health. And you'll be amazed how many people that think you can't see them will stop and read that. But we stand there in the middle of a busy town for an hour, 2 hours. One woman come up to us and she turned around and said, "That's quite aggressive, that is." "What's aggressive, my lovely?" "You hiding your faces." "Why is it aggressive?" And she says, "Well, it's like chavs and gangs, and why not show your face?" And I went, okay. So I went over to Boovy, Chris Booth, and he's got the smile.
No, Boofy.
Yeah. So I said to Boovy, "Put your snud down, mate." So he put his snud down, and he's obviously got that. I went, "Would you approach him?" And she said, "No." So I said, "One, you've told us to put the snud down, but you're not going to approach him." So we put the snud up, but the real reason is the men's silence that we have, that we don't talk to tell people because of the suicide rate in the UK at the minute. She went, "I never knew." And she went, "Thank you very much for talking to me about it." And I went, "No, thank you very much for coming over."
Yeah.
So she's now gone away and educated, feeling better about herself, but sees something in a different light. And that's where, with the mental health side of it, the suicide, anxiety, depression side of it, I tell people. I talk to them about it because they might have a perception of it. Doesn't mean it's right, but doesn't mean mine's right either.
Yeah.
So I can also learn off other people. I can see their perception of it and learn. So that makes me evolve, that makes me grow. So from that moment of me being depressed and having that snap, it gone. It had done. It was talking. The only time that it ever got suppressed was when I was in a narcissistic relationship, because you're not allowed to have a voice.
Yeah.
And then that's where I wouldn't tell people how I felt. I had a select few people who were told what was going on, but of course you'd never listen to them, would you? Because you've got rose tinted glasses on. But again, I didn't like who I was, so that got suppressed. But then when that was said and done, it's just verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
It just comes out there.
It's good though that you managed to own it from day one, because I fell into the category of, I don't know if there's anything wrong with me. Like, my fear was people ain't going to believe me. I think because I got fobbed off by the GP for so long.
Yeah.
Like, you need something to be wrong with you to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that, so my fear was, obviously then I'm heavily tattooed, it's like, people are just going to see that. Same with Boofy with a smile.
Yeah.
People are going to see those things before they actually see. People have an issue, like an image of what someone depressed should look like. What someone with bipolar or schizophrenia should look like, or how they behave or how they act.
I must admit though, I think in the last 2 years, I think that's changed. I think in the early 20s, when we were 13 years ago, there was 100% that, and there still is that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot better, because I do a lot of things with mental health. I talk to people about mental health, and I go into the education side of it, mental health as well. And that famous saying of, if you're going to kill yourself, you won't tell anyone. So I've actually gone through with a court case. So they think that I was okay because I was telling them that I'm suicidal thoughts and it's good that you're talking about it. that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
This day and age now, people will tell you you're going to go and top yourself, and they will go and do it. But because back in the day, it was like you said, you had to be of a certain character. There was a certain thing where you're quiet and you start getting more reserved, and then you go and do it, because they would never tell you. It's wrong. It's completely 180 now. It's definitely a lot better now, but I think that's because a lot more people are talking about it.
Yeah.
They're becoming honest about it, and obviously on social media and all that, you've got all your influencers, top influencers that are talking about it as well now. So people now go, oh, it's okay now to talk about it. People like to follow them.
Yeah.
So
that's the good thing about what you're doing, what I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to show, even if you've got 40 grand in the bank, 40 quid in the bank, we'll still feel the same.
Yeah.
So tell me about the True North Bikers, the community you've set up.
So True North Bikers, first of all, the name. The name True North is as a mental health saying and a veteran saying. So the mental health saying, everyone has an internal compass. When we're struggling and going through woes and unsure where we're going in life, True North is to find your way. The veteran saying is to find your way home, True North. Doesn't matter where you're on the wheel, True North is home. So True North Bikers means we will help you find your way. It got started by, I met a guy who was plastering my house, called Steve Rawlins, an old boy, very much like me, same mentality, same banter, same morals, same principles, and he used to ride a motorbike, and he stopped riding a motorbike for many years. We got talking about motorbikes. He's in my Harley, and he thought about going riding again. So he told me about a bike he was looking to buy. Kept having continuous conversations. He finished all the work on my house, and we just kept in contact. He told me that he got his bike, so we started riding together a little bit. Started our friends talking to each other, and we created that bond. And within that bond, he started to talk to me about his time in the army, in the service. That's not my story to tell, but all I'm going to say is he's a phenomenal person. He's gone through a hell of a lot, and to still be able to do what he does today is phenomenal. It's great. He's an inspiration to me. We call him Grandad. It's part of family. Simple as that. He's what I like to see my granddad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love him a bit. And within Shropshire, there was a huge problem in my eyes. Again, that's only my opinion. In the bike community, there was a lot of crashes. There were a lot of groups going out that were unsafe. They had no cause or principles apart from their own gain. I don't like that. So me and Steve were sitting there talking. We actually, there's the longest bike night in Shropshire is the Tiddly Pub on a Wednesday night. So we were in the Tiddly Pub, and there was a couple of us talking, and we just said, you know what, let's set up something ourselves. And I was a bit like, yeah, okay, but let's see if we're going to carry on talking about it. If we're going to carry on talking about it over the next couple of months, because it was the end of the bike season at the time, and then we'll see if we can put it all together, or what we want to do. So we kept meeting up, kept riding through the winter, kept talking about it, and my missus lost a family member to suicide just before Christmas. Struggles and strife, his own personal struggles. Again, with the people that I've lost through my life, everything that I've been through. And then Steve, he lost a couple of people from the army, and we just looked at each other and was like, sod it, let's put something together. So we invited 3 other people to start it with us. We had their input. We were in constant contact, formed a bond, put all our ideas together, and True North Bikers got formed. And it was under 3, and it still is and always will be, is to build a community, not just a bike community, but a community. There was no community spirit in Shropshire. People think there is, but there's not. In my day, I remember going PGL, going Army Cadets, the Beavers, the youth clubs, the biker scene, the BMX scene, the skaters. There was all of that growing up. There's none of that now.
Yeah.
Apart from kids doing drug runs and obviously getting in trouble. So it would be build a community, veterans and mental health. So we've going now for 18 months. That is the core, but we've done so much more. With sometimes a daily basis, we've helped someone, but on a weekly basis, we make a difference. Whether that's to children, families, work, people within our community, we make a difference. The first year of doing it, it cost me 15 grand of setting it up. And it's not what I've paid for to do it. It cost me about £1 grand a month to go out, to do the meetings, to put fuel in my bike.
Yeah.
Tyres, servicing. Where I'll probably go through a set of tyres a season, I'm probably going through 2-3 sets of tyres. We created a fundraiser where we go from the bottom of the country to the top of the country in 24 hours. But we've also got to ride down and we've also got to get back. So within 3 days, we're doing 2,700 miles. No, 2,000 miles, sorry, in them 2 days. But that run will take 17, 18 hours non-stop.
Yeah.
On a bike, which is huge, it's massive. We've supported families with cancer. We've got our little shining star, Rory. So Rory I met, he's a young lad, he was 8 years old and he'd been through a lot. His dad committed suicide and he already had leukemia once before that. Rang the bell, recovered, and I met him when he found out that he got leukemia for the second time. And not only that, he was the second or third person in the world to have leukemia of his optic nerve. And he's 8, 9 then. He had to have his eye out, completely out. But because it was so rare of this cancer, he was a test subject. Everything had to come from America, to go to London, to go to Birmingham for him. I have never met such a kind, caring, brave person. He is absolutely phenomenal. So whatever he needed, we did. When he had his eye out, myself and the group probably shouldn't took him to the hospital. We all have a brief before we go out and run, and this brief was very different. Usually our brief is we've got a lead gunner, we've got a tail gunner, we've got a side gunner, you're all protected, you're all safe, X, Y and Z, high vises, blah 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 blah. With Raws, it was we're pulling wheelies, we're going to break the speed limit, we are going to be doing things that we should not be doing. If you do not want to be part of that, stay back, because we're going to give them a show. We give them a show. And it was wicked. It was awesome, and it was accomplished because that time out of our day, taking him, seeing him off, he was on the way there, he was non-stop videoing, bouncing around the car like an idiot. He was going into the hospital, shouting and screaming to all the doctors and the nurses, the bikers have done this for me, showing them all the videos. The next day, going down into the operating theatre, non-stop talking about it. Woke up, talking about it, win.
Mm-hmm.
He's not bothered about the op, the pain, losing an eye. He's just bothered by the bikes. The bikes of what we do is a catalyst. It's probably 30% of what we actually do.
Yeah.
It's a catalyst to break that stigma, that boundary straight away. But the other reason why, so the other things that we've done for Roars is the family. So it's not just Rory that are going through it. He's also got brothers and sisters, and he's also got mum and stepdad. So they were struggling for food. Got food vouchers, because now we can afford to do that because we've done fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
So we sorted them out with some food, because again, they've got a young family that are going through that. Mum and stepdad can't work because they're looking after the kids' house, sorting Rory out. He was always in hospital. Parking, fuel. Going over to Birmingham, you fall into the congestion charge and all that sort of stuff. It's phenomenal the amount of money you spend on a weekly basis. No support. Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
No respite, no nothing. And credit where credit due with his mum and stepdad. They would never ever leave Rory in the hospital. Me being in hospital with my kids, they've gone through operations. The amount of kids that get left at the hospital because mums and dads are working is shocking. Really shocking. So credit where credit's due, they never left him at all. But it got to a point where obviously they've been going through all this for years. Got to a point where they were just drained, they were done. And we built the relationship in that they can now trust us. And they asked us if we could stay with Rose overnight in hospital. What it was every time that he had any slight germ, any infection, that's it.
Yeah, straight to the hospital.
He was done. If he was serious, he would have to go to Birmingham. If there was something that could be managed, it was at Telford. So one of my other nights, so within True North you have nights, I'll explain that after Roars. Gav went down and spent a night with him. Gav, again, loves kids, and they've got such an awesome bond together. Gav went down the first night, he was all sweet, he was all good. And the second night I went down, everything was all good, brought him a takeaway. He's a takeaway fanatic, he loves his food. Went in there and have a laugh, have a food. He starts watching TV, or just getting ready to go to sleep and stuff. He starts going septic. So his temperature rises, he starts shaking. He's 9, he's going septic. I'm trying to get him to breathe and just calm his breathing down and that, but he's got no choice because his body's going septic. He turned around to me after 20 minutes of it. He's convulsing, you name it. It's not nice to be around. He turns around to me and goes, "Dan, make sure you have a cup of coffee because it'll be a long run." He's 9.
Yeah.
And all he's bothered about is, "Dan, make sure you're getting looked after." And he's just, every time I see him, every dark thought I have, every word just goes. Because how can somebody like that, at the age of 9, well, it's now 10, it was his birthday the other day, be that strong? That every time reinforces my faith in why we all do what we do.
Yeah.
Being around people like that. But yeah, there's loads. We want to create the veteran side and support the veteran side, because I do feel that in Shropshire, that's where I was going before, the suicide rate in Shropshire is going to go through the roof. Because the hospitals are done, the GPs are done, the veterans are fuming, they're on edge, they're angry because they've created a armed forces hub in Dawley. The MP Sean has created it, but he's only created it for a benefit. To look, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
He's actually not talking to the people on the ground. They're actually going through it. Where we are is we're on the ground. We want to. The perfect example is that is we went to an armed forces event, and we had a stall there and all that sort of stuff. It's a huge honour to be part of it. It was a sunny day. The veteran had PTSD, and he was drunk. So the first thing was the ambulance crew went to him, and then the security crew went to him. Realised that he is not moving from the floor. So it's like, right, so they go to the event coordinator, and the base said we need to get him home. So they ordered him a taxi come, taxi driver looked at him and went, no, 90 quid plus a fare to get him home. And he was in a state. So obviously that was, no, that ain't going to happen, no one's going to put their hand in the pocket,
Yeah.
plus are you really going to trust them? And then we looked at the ambulance crew and we're like, can you take him? No, we're not allowed. What do you mean you're not allowed? Well, all our insurances are only confined to the area. Right, look at the security. Can you take him, lads? No, we're not taking him. Because it's not their job to.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So I start looking around, everyone's packing away. So we're at an armed forces event that's celebrating all our veterans.
Yeah, to
they're
honour
getting
them.
people in. This is one of them, your brother. They walk past them. They set up. So this is the army. This is the cadets. This is with all the machinery. This is the Reconnaissance Trust. This is the coffee mornings, the veteran breakfast. All walk past him. So we took him home. So not only did we take him home, we put him in his bed. But then we found out that it was a Reconnaissance Trust property. He's got nothing in his fucking house. He's been living there for years and years and years. We set him all up. We went back a couple of days later and chat to him, make sure it was all good. He was all good. But then I go back to the Reconnaissance Trust and I say to him that, like, what are you doing for your vets? It wasn't interesting. But yeah, they're at an armed forces event, celebrating that they're supporting the armed forces.
Yeah, and they're just doing it to look good in reality.
But they're not.
Yeah.
They're there to tick a box. And that's what's wrong with all the society stuff. And that's why I feel the suicide rate is going to go through the roof. So, what we've created within True North. So, True North, yes, it is a riders group. But it's a hell of a lot more than that. It's a basis of support, community, and bringing what's, I feel, right back. I created a night system in True North. So we've got Shining Stars, which is exceptional young children. True North bikers have nights, there's 5 of us. And the nights are the protectors. So they're the protectors of the people, they're protectors of True North, but it goes so much further than just True North. It's their morals, their compass, their principles. They will put their life on the line to make life better. And they'll get shot on. And that was another reason for creating the night system, because good people get shot on.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got a group of, they're all exceptional people, singly, but imagine if you've got a group of them exceptional people.
Yeah.
You can achieve some really, really great things.
Yeah.
And we have, and we are. So within the winter months we've got coming up, so the riding season now has stopped. So within the riding season we do funeral runs, prom runs, but the funeral runs are for anybody and everyone. So if anybody wants an escort, whether you're a biker or not an escort, biker or not, you can have an escort. Because in my opinion, a biker send off is like no other.
Yeah.
We do prom runs. In our first year, every prom run we did, we got asked. The second one, we didn't do everyone that got asked. We aimed for the people that got bullied, the ones that had issues or problems at home or at school or whatever. We picked them ones, because it matters. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Easter run, rather than going to an Easter event and just dropping a load of Easter eggs off, I put it to the community and said, anybody want to nominate any families, any children, what they need, and people did. I got the community involved. So we spent a soaking wet Easter going around families and giving them Easter eggs, presents. We asked specifically what the children would like, and we tried to tailor that for them. We've also done the go back to school, which was a go back to school equipment. So one of the lads that's part of the group had this idea of, what about families that are struggling to get themselves ready for going back to school in September? Great idea, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I put that to the community, put that to the group, put that to everybody that I know. And what we did is we sat back and we put that again to the community, what families are struggling, people in need and stuff. And we got it. And we spent the whole day going around to families, giving school bags, coats, trainers, pens, pencils, bags, whatever they needed. And again, we picked and selected the people that needed it. There's too many people out there and too many organisations out there that it's easy to do all the promo stuff going up towards it, just dropping it off and then going.
Yeah.
I won't go into great detail, but there was a situation last year around Christmas time where we dropped a load of presents off somewhere. They didn't go there, they ended up in South Africa. So, lesson learned, now, this year, I'm going to go and give it to them people. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, find foster families, halfway houses, schools that children are needing extra help, go into them schools and give them Christmas presents.
Do it direct.
Properly, because then now it's helping. I know that all the effort that we're going to is going to help them people. True North has made so many memories for people and created them memories, and I'm hoping that all the good deeds that we're doing will turn into another good deed.
Yeah.
It will slow the stigma down, or stop the stigma down of bikers being bad, and prove that there's good people and community in there. I've been let down time and time again with it, but I've always found a way. When I had my crash in November, we set up somewhere for the winter months where it was going to be a hub, because as bikers, over the winter months it's tough, to be fair. We retract, we stop all the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
So we wanted somewhere to go over the winter months. So we found somewhere. I put a new floor in it, one of the lads put a new kitchen in it, and it very quickly broke down. The pretense of it was, we do that for you and you let us use it, and we have a tea and a coffee in there, use the kitchen area and just have a meet. That very quickly got changed, and now they wanted money for it as well. So when you're a community group and there's no money coming in, it's like, that wasn't what was agreed.
Yeah.
You've got nearly a couple of grand's worth of floor, you've got a grand's worth of kitchen in there for nothing. That wasn't what was agreed. So that was after my crash. So my crash was November. The second week in November was when we started, but then December, that's when things started to get started to change. It all falls back down to money. So after a couple of months, I very quickly realised that I didn't need my car anymore. So I sold my car. And again, my dad fully supports everything that we're doing. He's now learned that there is mental health. He's been through, so where in my early 20s he didn't believe it, he's seen what I've been through, and now he's gone through a couple of his experiences for the last 5 years, 6 years. He now understands, he gets it, and he's a full supporter of what we do. So we've got 2 units in Telford that we were using for work, and I asked him if we could put a mezzanine and a kitchen in it and an office. So what my dad used to do was, we had an office in the unit, a little kitchenette area, but he'd never use it, and he'd always fall asleep in the van. So he always worked out the van and everything. So I said, Dad, look, let me put a kitchen in for you so you can cook, you can have a coffee, let me put TV in it for you, let me build you a proper office. But we want to put a mezzanine in it, pool table, TVs, sofas, dartboards, all that sort of stuff. And he said, yeah, right, Sam. So we passed it with the council. They were all sweet with it. Martin, one of the knights, built the mezzanine in it from the money from the car. And at every angle in that hub, it's personal. It's no matter where you're going into the hub, it's all personal. Everybody is part of it. Everything was donated or contributed, apart from obviously the timber, which obviously had to pay for. The floor we had to pay for. My dad paid for the staircase for it. We've got one of the lads that come and did a bit of graffiti, put it on the wall for us. We've got the kids, so that was another thing that we were massively passionate about, is our kids are just as much as family as what we are. Women, the same as children, everybody's equal. We were going to a lot of places in Telford, one place in particular, and we supported them for months and months and months. I helped them left, right and centre, and then one day I get a text message saying, unfortunately, we're not allowing children onto bike ride anymore. Right, well, why? Well, we want to start serving alcohol, blah, 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 you're not allowed, made a couple of lies, and I'm like, right, went to try and talk to them, and I very quickly realised it was just, rather than telling the truth, it just lied to me. So I took the kids out of there, but I turned around and said, look, if there's no kids, then there's no me. And she says, well, what does that mean for the rest of the group? I went, well, that's up to the group, isn't it? I said, but for me, my children, all our children, is part of us, so if you can't accept that, then I'm not coming.
Yeah, of course.
So when we go down to the hub, you will see that all the kids' stuff in there is free. If you're adults, it's a donation. So a donation 50p for a cup of tea, because what that will do is that will keep the lights on, keep it going. But the kids, we've got a kids dartboard as well as the adult dartboards, so they can play with us. Got the pool tables, got the craft stuff upstairs, got all the films and all that they can watch. We have family nights in there where all the kids are welcome. We get them involved with absolutely everything that we do. But another thing that we want to do at the hub is we actually want to, like we were talking about with the mental health stuff, there's a lot of people and a lot of groups out there that are talking about mental health but not finding a solution for it.
Yeah.
I want to do a recognised mental health training. It's recognised nationally, so you can come and get that and take that and use that for work. But I also want to create a suicide awareness course, but not so you can come and find out about what the suicide awareness is. I want the family to come.
Yeah, of course.
So not only to what suicide is or awareness is, but how do you live with it? But the mental health, how do you live with somebody with mental health? Because educating that way is what we're doing on a singular basis, talking to different people.
Yeah.
There needs to be an end game, an end goal, rather than going, do your journey, take medication, start learning about yourself more, go to the gym, yes, they're all good, but what's the solution? Let's put a plan in place to find a solution. I'm starting a counselling course. So what I want True North to be is a recognised name in the community that if you need help, anything. I've started a counselling course with 2 other lads. So I want mental health first aiders, counsellors, and I want a doctor, all within us.
Yeah.
So there's no more waiting. There's no more making stupid phone calls to the doctors and not getting any answers. You can make that phone call and you can get advice, suggestion, or a solution there. End off. I would love to create, but I know it's miles off. I would love to create. Have you heard of blood bikes?
No.
So blood bikes is, it started with a little group of people that would transport blood, organs or documents from a hospital to a hospital or a doctor to a doctor. A bike can get anywhere 10 times quicker than what an ambulance can. So now it is a fully functioning charity that runs alongside the NHS. What I want to create in the end, and it's going to take a lot of time, is a mental health first aider on a bike. So I reckon within True North, I know last year it was 44 people, myself, stopped from committing suicide. This year, I think we're at about 20. And that's just been because through conversations where I've seen instances, other people have seen instances, or they've come and talked to me, or up until, I think it was 2 months, about 8 weeks ago, we had a community night, and then a couple of people were going home onto the M54. They went past the bloke, and they didn't realise that he was going to jump off, but they knew that something wasn't right.
Yeah.
So they called us up, and 2 of the lads went down. And it was right, he was going to go and kill himself. And since then, I'm in constant contact with him on a weekly basis to guide him. And from where he was to where he is now, it's night and day. But that's not just for him, ourselves. He's also, I put him in touch with the Breath of Life lads, and also his own doing.
Yeah.
We can support and talk to him and all the other stuff.
He's got to want it himself.
He's got to want it himself. But he's also known now that he's got the confidence to, when he's having them dark days, Dan, can I come have a chat? And it's happened many times.
Realising them triggers and knowing he's got somewhere to go.
Yeah. But that's the goal for True North, is to grow, be part of the community, network. Every time that we try and do something with the council, we get the door slammed on our face. Every time. And I think that's because our face don't fit.
Yeah, I was going to say clean cuts.
Yeah.
Bikers.
There was a huge suicide awareness event. Suicide prevention event up at the Telford Town Park. And I managed to get a contact, and I emailed the contact, told them everything what we do, and they basically turned around and said, great, fantastic, where's your risk assessments, what, have you got this, have you got that? And I'm like, for fuck's sake. I have no problem doing all the red tape, but there was no talk about the suicide prevention, the event, what it was about. So I'm just like, it's another one of them again. So I was like, you know what now? And I didn't even respond.
Yeah.
I just, what's the point? I've made a really, really good contact and a really good friend with the mayor of Telford. She is a fantastic woman, but she's grounded. We invited her to the opening of the hub. She got talking to everybody. And there's the Bloom Festival that happened in Telford last month. She thought, you know what, sod it, I want to break the mould. So she got in contact with me a week before the Bloom Festival and said, Dan, can I have an escort? Well, what do you want an escort for? To go from, she has to walk, was going to walk from the middle of town to the town park. But what she'd have to do is basically just walk and just wave to everybody And she said, well, what would be cooler is if I was on the back of a bike. I said, well, what about if you're on a big yellow trike? And she was like, yeah. So we got all the bikes, 10 bikes down there, and then a big yellow trike. And what was funny was, not funny, that's the wrong word, humbling is the word. You got all this procession on that was going to follow the mayor. So you got all this procession that was in this corner. And you got a few people that were like waiting to and videoing and seeing what was about. When the bikes turned up and we were in the middle, everybody come in.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to jump on the bikes, everybody wanted to have a photo. That was class. That was wicked, because that shows me that the community spirit that I'm trying to get is still there.
Yeah.
It just needs prizing out a little bit. It just needs reaffirming that who we are. And it was class. It was lots of revving. She loved it. It was fantastic. I managed to have a little talk on the radio about what we do, about the schools, going back to school equipment. It was wicked. It's like the toy run. The toy run's legendary in Shropshire, but it hasn't been to Telford or Shrewsbury Hospital for years. We start off in Telford and we always end up in Stoke or in Wolves. So I'm like, let's bring it back to Telford. And obviously I was really apprehensive being the first one, if people are going to turn up, if they're going to accept us. And it was class because a lot of people turned up. We got a lot of support. But the thing that got me the most is there was more people waving on the estates, supporting what we were doing, than there were bikers.
Yeah.
It was, again, really humbling that it's there. It just needs
just time.
The time and the right people and the right things. It'll get there.
Yeah.
But it's a constant fight. And this is what people don't see. People see that you ride a bike, you run the group. They see all the good, but they don't see the work and everything that goes in behind it. But all the letdowns as well. Like I've never had the door slammed so much in my face with things that I perceive as being really important. The veterans, I won't say what it is until it's set up, but I've tried to find a safe space for veterans and forces. So not just the veterans, but also police, ambulance, fire service, because they are all going through it as well. Half the police don't want to be there. They can't stand out as well. But they want to be there because they're doing good, but then there's a lot of crap.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to find a safe space for the veterans to go and to do something that they would want to be part of, because a lot of veteran stuff at the minute, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's tailoring for the wrong type of person. Is the veteran breakfasts are done to death, so it needs to be something different. They do veterans for models, they do arts and crafts for veterans. They don't want it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, if I say veteran to a veteran in Shropshire, they don't like it being said. So I have to say ex-serviceman. And I'm trying to do something different, and that's where in the hub in the winter months, Monday, we're going to have a community night, and then the week after we have a ladies only night, because we very quickly realised as a bike group it's very male dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And within that we get to go out a lot, but our partners, our girlfriends, our wives, our daughters, all that sort of stuff don't, but they should still be part of it. So we've created a ladies night, and within that as well, the reason why we created the ladies night is because we had somebody in the group that with being mental health, with being support and all that sort of, and being protectors, we had someone come into the group that thought it would be a good idea to prey on 5 vulnerable women And that struck a huge chord with me. And I took it really hard because of what I've been through and what my missus have been through. I would never in a million years want to create something that would support abuse or an opportunity for abuse. So I spent a week listening to these 5 women cry down the phone because of what this gentleman had done. And he was married. But then when I started to look at their relationship, I realised she was being controlled. So the best thing for me to do was get rid of him. But I got rid of him in a manner to where his missus would never ever find out. Because I knew that if I said something, it would have caused her 10 times more pain. So what we did was we kept a channel open for her if she wanted to get in contact with us, but we had to get rid of him. But we had to get rid of him in a certain way to where it was really under the radar. And then I made a promise to all the women that it would never ever happen again. And that's why I created the women only group, because once it settled down and I asked the women, I said, why didn't you come to me? Because I'm an open book. My telephone number is open to everybody. They can call me day or night, whatever it is, whatever issue, and I'll try to help. And the reason why they never come up to me is because he was a friend. And they thought that I would take his side over them. And that hurt even more.
Yeah, of course.
So I made a point of creating a women's group. So now they've got their support network. So now, whether they're my friend or not, they've got someone to talk to. Whether I say to, so it's my missus, Julie, the female knight that we have, and a couple of others that help support this group. I say I want to know nothing what's talked about unless it's serious. If it's serious, then I want to know. If it's not, crack on. You do women.
Yeah.
They go on, they don't have to ride a bike, and they go on women nights, women days, they go on brunch. The ones that do ride, they go and have women rides. They support their own network.
Yeah.
Because again, in my eyes, they're part of us.
Yeah.
My crash, it wasn't just me going through it, it was my missus and my daughters as well.
Exactly.
So they've now got that support. When I'm having my dark days and I can't support my missus, she can go and get support off the good ladies. So so we have a normal community night on a Monday, and then the women's night on the Monday after, and we just alternate it. And then on a Wednesday, we are creating a naffy night. So a naffy night, a naffy is an army saying for break. That's where they go to chill, have a drink, have a bit of food, play ball and all that sort of stuff. So that's their break time. That's their home from home. So it will be veteran only unless you're invited. Because another thing I want to do is I want to protect the veterans at the minute. And the veterans find it really hard to trust, really hard, because of the amount that they've been let down. So it's veteran only until a veteran invites you.
Yeah.
Because I want the veterans to feel safe and comfortable to invite people in, so civvies, because then we can learn. We can learn what they've been through, how they talk, the banter, because I've never been in the services. I've just got the same mentality as them through being in the fight and the training and the pushing, and the morals and the principles. That's why I can relate to them a lot. But I never knew nothing until I met Steve. Steve's the one that's educated me on the life. We make sure we go to the right of the wall. We go down Cheddar every year, which is a light infantry gathering, and we had the honour of doing a bike run in the name of a fallen ally down in Cheddar, which again is a huge honour. That'll be every Wednesday from 6 o'clock onwards down at the hub. And then what we're going to do is going to leave the weekends free, because the riding season, there was a hell of a lot that
of
goes
course,
on.
yeah.
There's always something. And in the winter months, it just gives us that bit of breathing room just to recoup. But then what we do is, the riding season, it's rider season focused with helping people and community and support. But in the winter months, it will switch to now it's more community, a lot more community, and little bits of riding.
Yeah.
So we'll focus on more like family nights, Halloween nights. We're not going to have a Christmas party. We're going to have a Christmas leftover party. So everyone that's got all the leftovers for all the meat and all the crisps and all the chocolate, come and all bring it. Let's enjoy all the leftovers.
That's a good idea.
Let's break the mould. I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to be different. And it's the same for everyone else. It's let's try something different. And I'm hoping that with the Naffy night and what I'm hoping to create will be on a weekend as well. I'm hoping that'll be enough to grow a community of veterans again and show that we can trust again. And then I'm hoping when that builds, that can then be open to more organisations. But unfortunately, these organisations are the one that have let these people.
Yeah, of course. Got to build that trust and like build that community up again.
The veterans, yeah. But that's the premise of the hub in the winter months, is to grow that family, that community.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk through that door, you see all the photos, all the memories. It's mad really, because I get that focus. When one thing's done, I move straight on to the next, and I forget what we've done.
Yeah.
If someone was to ask me, what have you done? I only say a minute thing of what we've done. At some point this week, I'm actually going to go back through all the photos and list what we've done, because I want to remember. And now we do, and I want to tell people how much we do, because there is a lot behind the scenes that we do. Things that shouldn't be made public. We did a funeral run yesterday for one of our own, the first one that we've lost within our own. It was an old boy, Les, and we don't put nothing on about funeral runs or anything, but yesterday I felt like to honour him, it had to be put on social media. Most things we do with veterans, we don't put on at all. People think we don't do a lot for veterans. We do, we just don't tell people about it.
You don't need to clout through.
Because what's the point of...
As long as the veterans know when they're getting help, that's the most important thing.
100%. There's a lot of people that talk.
Yeah.
And that's also been one of my things that have been in this and evolving. I've always struggled with people talking behind my back, because I believe about it, I'm passionate about it, I'm strong about it, and I always want to correct people when they're wrong. Doing this over the last 18 months has made me realise, don't leave them, ignore them. And I've actually used it a lot over the last 6 months. Within True North, there was a coup. There was private chats, all slating us and slagging us off, and I found out about the coup. Give them 2 chances, and they still carried it on. So it's like, because even when people struggle, and like we were talking about going backwards, you've got to give people a chance. And we try to give them a chance, and it was just like, lads, you're just not getting it at all. And it's within groups anyway, organisations, there's always going to be the clique, and we try really hard to not create the clique, try to make everybody the same, equal, and they're what destroy the principles of what you believe in, because they attack it from internally within. So in the end, I just have to say to the lads, they're like, that's it, you're done, you're kicked out, kicked out the group. And they said, what does that mean then? You're going to beat us up, you're going to kick us off the road. I went, no, just not invite you to the events. Who do you think we are? I said, it doesn't, the days of me fighting are gone. I'm that broken now from the crash that I struggle to walk upstairs. So throwing a jab at it, that's done and gone.
But no, mate, what you've done with True North, starting it just because you and your pals wanted to get together, a bit of organisation,
It was
with a bit of community,
Yeah.
supporting each other and showing each other that teamwork does make the dream work. And then
100% does.
seeing how you've grown, supporting Rory, the veterans, and then the women's only nights, and so much you've done. Obviously, I can just see big room for growth, and you've only been going a short amount of time. It's good to see.
It's a pleasure to be part of. I'm never proud of myself, and I never will be proud of myself. But I'm proud of what everyone achieves.
Yeah.
Like the nights, we're all of the same mentality. There's a lad that did the bottom to top called Gav. Again, one of my boys, I love him to bits. The most proud thing that I take from the bottom to top run was him achieving what he achieved. He spent money on a new bike just to specifically do that. He has never ever done that distance. He's got a bad back. He's been struggling for the last 6 to 12 months himself, mentally and internally. And he did that run in excruciating pain, no sleep, pushing himself through every single barrier and all adversity to achieve what he achieved. He come back, I seen his daughter cry over him, which I would never ever have thought of. His missus showing nothing but love, respect. That supported their relationship again. Like, she realised what he went through and missed him. So I'm watching these three together, reaffirming why they love each other and their relationship. But when the day after, or no, it was a couple of days after, he was a different bloke. He was talking different. All the woes and the worries that he had before he did it were nothing to what he's just been through. So he was able to breathe and progress. Phil, another veteran that did it, huge mental health struggles. He achieved that, seeing him when he come back, again, different bloke. That's what I'm proud of. Seeing Rory grown into the lad I'm proud of that and being part
Positive of changes.
There's a lot of good things that are going to come from it. And I'm just hoping that give it a bit of time and, like I said, doing the right things. But even in the wrong things, that's where we learn.
Lessons learned. No, it's good to see you, mate. So, your mental health, how do you cope now, day to day?
So, after my narcissistic relationship, I made a conscious effort in myself to rebuild from the ground up. So I had quite a good few years of putting that in place, and I had the mentality of, now I can be told anything and I can go through anything and be untouchable. There was a situation where, so I've got 3 daughters. One of them's not mine, which is my daughter, so the middle one. She had to have surgery. So within that surgery, she was in the hospital for a total of 12 weeks. And obviously there was a lot of rehabilitation after that. But also my missus was pregnant with Thea. I was working full time as a floor layer, and to throw insult to injury, I bought a family home, my first home with the family. And of course it had to be renovated. So I would wake up, go to work, wake up from the hospital, because obviously Mrs. being pregnant, she was at home. Wake up from hospital, wait for the missus to come. She'd stay there all day. I'd go to work and then come back, sort her out. The house never got done until she got back home. But then when she was back home, I was doing the house. Be there till 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And that went on for 3 months, 4 months, no longer than that, 5 months, because obviously the rehabilitation side of it. And then we had theatre. So downstairs, we had me sleeping downstairs, Emmy, the middle one, sleeping downstairs, and then Thea, my youngest, in the cot, while the good lady was repairing from obviously childbirth. Nothing touched me. I was untouchable. So again, that reaffirmed that I can achieve whatever I want now because my mind is strong. We did a lot of work for a shop pound stretcher. So we used to do all the floors for pound stretcher, and there was one down in Merthyr Tydfil that got dropped on us on the last instance. It was 850 square metres, and we had to get guys together really quick and then go and do the job. My dad was going to, I think he was going to Thailand, so it was just me and the lads that were going to run it. So I went down, measured it, looked it, got it all sorted. Me and my dad went down the next day, prepped it, and then he was leaving, and then the next day me and the boys were going to go and fit it. So there was me and 3 other lads. Because we had been up early most of the days, I was asleep by 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that 7 o'clock, I was asleep. 11 o'clock, I get a text message off all the lads, sorry, I can't come. I didn't know about that till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, to your uncle.
So 5 o'clock in the morning, read the text message, shit. My dad's on a plane to Thailand, what am I going to do? Fuck it. So I go down. So I go down by myself and I'm like, I'll figure it out. I stayed there and did 850 square metres by myself. 36 hours, non-stop. That mentality of, who the fuck's going to do it? And I just did it, and I just worked through the night. Pro Plus, Lucozade, packet of crisps. I had a trolley tied around my waist. So what I would do was I'd glue an area, and then the trolley, I'd pull the trolley behind me so I could just pick the tiles up and just put them in. And I just did that until it was done. Got back home, and then I realised it flared on my hands. So I had carpal tunnel surgeries, blah blah blah. But again, untouchable. That reaffirmed that, yeah, my mind's strong, my body's strong. I was going to the gym. Again, I can achieve absolutely
just having that positive mindset, you can get through it, fuck it.
But also the physical side of it as well, because I was strong and I was physically fit. It was, right, so crack on. Now, this is where it all went south. So, creating True North. So I started True North in February. November the 3rd, which is next 2 weeks, isn't it? I got took out on my motorbike. So a bloke went through a red light and took me straight out on traffic lights. The only thing I had time to do was to let go of the handlebars. So car hit me. I knew I flew through the air. Stay conscious throughout. My shoulder took all the hit. Heard all the cracks and the bangs and everything. I'm lying on the floor. My shoulders well over my face. I tried to breathe first to make sure I could breathe. And then I tried to move. I couldn't move at all, nothing. Everybody started coming over. All I kept thinking in my head, because obviously I'm at a junction, don't fucking get run over.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the car to come over me. But luckily that never happened. So there was an old gentleman who I got in contact with afterwards to say thank you, that he was supporting my head straight away. And I went, dude, leave my head, grab my shoulder. They knew that my shoulder was done. The injuries were, my shoulder was snapped and dislocated. My left wrist was snapped off. My knees, both knees were fractured, and my right ankle was snapped off, open fracture and around. So it was lucky again, because the police were really close. They started slamming a load of drugs into me. Got into the ambulance really quickly. My missus was calling me flat out, and I was just, because we got the Live 360 app, so she was calling me flat out, and I just kept saying, do not answer that phone. Because in my head, I know what she's like. That, you know, when you see TV series and all that, you got that typical scene. I don't want her to see that.
Yeah.
So I was like, do not answer the phone till I'm in that ambulance. When I'm in that ambulance, answer it. And that's what they did. And then I fucked up in my head because that famous TV series scene of being in that dark room and you're hooked up to all the machines and you're in all the braces. Yeah, she's seen that.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit. But in my defence, I did just get wrote off on a bike.
Cool.
So, but yeah, it was, even through that though, I was thanking everybody. I was appreciative of all the help. The bloke in the ambulance, because the way my arm was, it was completely over my other shoulder, so I had to be supported. So unfortunately, my shoulder had to come down and be put in a brace. So he had to support my arm in this brace from Telford to Birmingham, QE, all the way. And I was like, dude, thank you very much. He had to keep putting the Entonox in my mouth and all that sort of stuff. They were all absolutely fantastic. I can remember being in the room and they were like, Dan, we need to give you ketamine, knock you out, put your arm into the scanner and everything. And it's funny because I can still remember all the little bits, like my hand snapped off and I turned around to the lady, can you get off my hand? And she was like, on your hand. Look, I could feel it. And what it was a trainee nurse that the leg, unfortunately, she was a larger lady and she was hitting my arm. And then, yeah, it did all the operation the day after and all that. Birmingham QE was spot on. Paramedics, the nurses, the doctors, everyone was spot on. And the shit that they got to put with up there from the people, they need to be multi-millionaires.
Yeah, of course.
It was horrible up there. But from my mental health, from that point, it was, I couldn't control any emotion whatsoever. I thought I was going to die. They thought I had internal bleeding in my stomach. I felt a letdown to my dad. Like I said, that was probably the first proper time that my dad shown any emotion towards me at all. It was cuddles, kisses, I love you son, proud of everything you're doing, we'll get through this. So I just couldn't contain emotions from being physical broken to now my dad opening up, friends coming to support me, causing all that trauma, because that's the worst thing as a biker in my eyes, is that I'm a vegetable and my missus has now got to look after me.
Yeah.
I can't now do the things I want to do with my kids and all that sort of stuff. So for days I couldn't contain any sort of emotion. I was crying out every day, but within that, the upset, I was still high as a kite. And the people that I talk to people on a daily basis that are going through struggles and stress. I probably talk between 5 and 10 people every week, multiple conversations. When I feel shit, I have to help people. So even when I was like that, I'm high as a kite, I'm still calling and texting these people and supporting them through that. And it was like, that was my release. That was me trying to make myself feel better, as selfish as it is, but it's me being selfish is helping others.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't contain any emotion, and it was this young girl from the church at Birmingham comes down and basically like, would you like to talk? And I was just like, you know what? And I had somebody with me, I can't remember who it is. I had somebody with me and I just turned around to her and I went, yes, 100%, but not now. And she went, that's fine, I'll come back in another hour. I was like, sweet. And that opened the door to getting everything out, what I was thinking and feeling. And it didn't make me feel any better, because talking doesn't help me feel any better, but it made me realise that I'm in trouble.
Yeah, realisation.
Yeah, I'm not strong. The life that I was leading beforehand, I was earning good money. I had the bike that I always wanted. True North was going phenomenally. I had my friends, I had my support network. I was putting plans in place to secure my children's lives with buying more properties. The business was going to be ramped up because the contracts that we had were now going to probably quadruple, because there were bigger jobs, more people. So the money that I was on was going to be more. That's hence the bettering my children's lives and all that. That life that I had, gone.
Yeah.
Was done. I knew, even though I was like, yeah, 3 months I'll be back, I knew that that wasn't going to be the case. I've had to have more surgeries. I've still got to have more surgeries. People look at me now when I walk about, or I'm driving, or I ride my bike, because people are like, how the hell are you riding a bike? Because we're 2 weeks away from it being a year. Through all them injuries, it's a big thing, but I think it's a big thing because the bodybuilding, the kickboxing, the food and all that, I repair quite quick.
Yeah.
Because of the constant, I think that's just where my body is now, because of the bodybuilding and fighting. But I knew that I needed help. So when I come out of hospital, I had to get out of hospital because my mental health in the hospital was dog shit. And it was dog shit because of what I've been through, what I'm going through. I'm by myself, I miss my missus, I miss my kids. My youngest didn't want to know me, because from a baby, I had been in her life every single day. I put her to sleep, put her to bed, feed her, everything a lot. Made everything what I should have done with Isabel.
Yeah.
And what made matters worse was I was having blokes next to me exposing themselves to the nurses. They were spitting at them, shouting at them, calling them names, wanting to go outside and have a fag every 5 minutes and then smoking in the fucking ward, throwing food at them, just abuse. And me as a person being a protector, I just want to go and put a pillow over the face.
Yeah, of course.
What are you doing? But what am I meant to do?
Yeah.
I can't do nothing. I can't even have a piss by myself, so what am I meant to do? So I think they were expecting me to be in there for about 21 days, and I was in there 13 days, 14 days. Just like, tell me what I need to do to get out.
Yeah, that determination.
I just had to get out, and I was just like, I'll just recover at home. So I got home, and I realised that I knew that I had a great support network within True North. But the problem is because I had been everybody's help and protector.
Who helps the helper?
Yeah. So if I say something, because they know what I've done and what I've achieved, oh, you'll be alright.
Yeah.
You'll be fine, don't worry. Just give it a couple of months, you'll be back on a bike, or you'll be back doing this, or you'll be back flying in again. Fuck off. I don't want to hear that. I want to whinge, I want to moan, I want to feel like shit. I want to feel that scared little boy, probably.
Yeah.
I want to be Dan. I don't want to be Dan from True North. I want to be Dan. At that time, it was just, I just wanted to be Dan. So I needed to find another outlet of protecting myself and getting things out there. So I needed to try something that I've never tried before, because beforehand my go-to mental health was hike, go and be by a beach, go on long drives, motorbike, gym, fight, push myself. Can't do any of them now. So I had to find an outlet. So something that I never tried before was a talking circle, talking group. So I looked around, and the best fit for me was Breath of Life Foundation, because the other thing is I wanted to go somewhere where nobody knew me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be down. So I went to the Breath of Life talking circle, and it did help, getting things out there, worrying about things, and talking about what I'd gone through in the week and everything. And it wasn't so much talking about what I was going to get out for me. It was also, I was able to help the lads, and it was also to see the lads that are drug addicts and things like that, to see their progression, that they were getting better. So that was their life a month, and then they were getting better. That reaffirmed for me that I can get better.
Yeah, of course, this needs time.
Yeah, but when you're going through that, you don't see that, do you?
Yeah.
And it's the unknown. And then from that, I learned to create an alter ego. Like I said about being good about putting on a face. I learned again to put that alter ego on. And the alter ego was Dan from True North. Can do anything, that can talk about anything, that can achieve anything that he wants. And that mask didn't fall off until, I want to say 2 months ago. It fell off. And the reason why it fell off was because I got let down, or in my perception, I got let down. So the case handler wanted to now I pushed for, when they come to see me and what do you need anything in the house, blah blah blah, my focus was very much on, I need help in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew that I was suppressing everything. Excuse me. Because the reason why I was suppressing it is because I knew that I was suppressing it, is because I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, my anxiety was through the roof, biting my nails, can't get comfy, I was snappy, something needed to be resolved. So I turned around to the case and I said I need it sorting. So they sorted out a counselling session, which I was happy about. So I got a text message off the counsellor, can you arrive on Monday at this day and time? Yep, so no worries. So what I did was, because I created this alter ego and this personality, I put every single barrier and wall that I could.
Yeah.
You can't just click your fingers
Mm-hmm.
and the walls are down. It takes time. So what I did was, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I put things in place that I could start tearing them walls down. And it was silly little things like having 5 minutes for myself to think about thoughts and feelings. To start now thinking what them thoughts and feelings are, but then not just thinking about them, but feeling them as well. And the final one was Monday, before the counselling session. I put a mic in my helmet, on my motorbike, and I put my camera on, and I went and relived the crash. So the same speed, the same position, the same angle. I stopped to where I was lying on the floor and I was talking about thoughts and feelings, and I carried on when I was going back home and talking about my thoughts and feelings and feeling them. And I got to the counselling session and I'm like, right, I actually genuinely feel ready for this now. And I knew it was going to be a fight. I knew it was going to be a shit show and it wasn't going to be easy. And this counselling session wasn't a counselling session. It was an assessment. So what he failed to mention on purpose was at the start, it was all the questions that he'd have to ask for an assessment, but I didn't clock on it was an assessment. I just thought it was just, we were just talking about it and getting the basis. And at the end of the session, he told me it was an assessment. Right, okay. All the answers to the questions correlated to a number, and the number at the end of it correlated to what help you needed, or how much help you needed. And he said, there's a national level of where people need help, and you're double that. So I'm like, oh. So I am fucked then. So I always knew that there was anxiety and depression, but I didn't know how much. So I'm like, so now, because it's double, it's like, yeah, right, that's quite worrying. So he's like, see you next Monday, start again, blah, 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 and all this stuff. I was like, sweet, great, mint. So I come out of that feeling quite numb, not knowing how to feel about it, because I got myself ready to get it all out. And didn't really get much out. And then within that, I got a text message off another guy saying that, hi Dan, I'm your new counsellor. Text back, what? I'm your new counsellor. Right, can you please explain why and all that? Well, the case handler's got in touch with me and can we book in for, I think that was Monday as well. And I went, yeah, but I've got my other counselling session on. He went, no, you're not doing that now. You've got me. And I'm like, right. So I was like, right, fine, whatever. I go to it and it's not a counselling session, it's an EMDR session. So I don't know what EMDR is. I have no aspect of what it can do for me. And again, that was an assessment. So I've now stemmed the flow for that. Being told I'm doing something completely different, which again, for someone that likes to know and get ready for things. And then after that, it was, I'll see you in 2 weeks. What do you mean? Can't I see you at the end of the week? Can't I see you? No, I've got holiday. Right. So I did them 2 weeks, and not many people know this, but at the end of the second week, I was pre-planning to not be here without knowing that I was doing it. So I was starting to put things in place. I was writing notes. I was writing on things on the back of photos that when people take the photos off, there'd be a personal message from me. Yeah. And I was going into that hole. I was starting to relate back to my early 20s as going, you're in fucking trouble. So what I did was I managed to get to the next session with him, and any counsellor that does any therapy will always ask you to, at the start, would you like to carry on? And I just flat out turned around and went, no. He said, what do you mean no? And I went, you have caused this with the other therapist and with the case handler. And he's like, And I knew that his professional head was on, but I could also see as a person, I fucked up. Yeah. So to make matters worse, that's what I forgot about as well. What made matters worse was I had a mental health assessment from an independent professional, 35 pages long. So they knew that I had major depressive disorder, PTSD, and suicidal tendencies and suicidal thoughts. They knew all that, and the recovery of that from a professional is medication for 2 years, psychotherapy for 2 years, and counselling for 2 years, and then a review. So they had all that information beforehand, but set it up like that. So what I did was I put the wall up, went and had that conversation with him, wasn't angry, wasn't irate, I just told him, you've done this. And then I got in touch with my case handler and I said, we need a conversation. So she come down, she had a conversation, and I just let rip. Again, not in a bad way, but I just you've done this. Yeah. and she was nothing but apologetic. They could see that it wasn't right, it wasn't the right thing to do, it was miscommunication. But then that's where we say the miscommunication, when someone's teetering on that edge, can make a huge, and it did make a huge difference. It was just because I think of me being in that spot, like we said about, would you regret it? No, because if I didn't go through all that, this time I probably could have topped myself.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
So I've now recognised the signs to know, and also to relay to somebody that why you've messed up, or why somebody feels like that you've messed up.
Yeah.
In a calm manner. So slowly but surely, they have put things in place now with myself to where I basically shut it all down. I said I'm not doing it until there's medication, you put counselling in place, and I don't even know if I want to do MDR, because I don't know if I can. It's a lot of money to throw at something where I don't know if I'm going to benefit from it. So I just said I'm not doing nothing until
there's a plan in place.
A plan in place. And fair play to her, she was again really apologetic, and she was like, Dan, we'll sort this out, sort that out. There was money issues as well, and fair play to her again, she sorted all that out. And then I got a letter from the doctor, please can you come in, we need to talk. And fair play, medication. I tried medication previously, but I think it was in February. Metro something, and that's when I just couldn't sleep at all. So I was like, I need something to get knocked out, and I took that, and I took it for 3 days. And I had a fight with the fridge because there wasn't a green apple in there, because the kids had eaten it as a red one.
Yeah.
And it just turned me highly violent. I had really, really violent tendencies in my head. So I stopped it straight away, and it took about 10 days to get out of the system till I started to feel calm. So I said I'm never going on that, and they put me on Citrolab plan or something.
Yeah, Citraplan.
That's it. Put me on that with something else to help with the anxiety side of it that I have to take 3 times a day. And I've always been anti-meds. Try and do it the best way that you can, up until I've learned over the last 3, 4, 5 years that use it, but you have to find the right medication for you.
Of course, yeah.
It's the side effects are not great at all, and I've struggled, but I'm also I know that you can get worse before you get better, and since taking the medication, which is I'm probably about 3 weeks in there, I've been in a black hole, a real black hole, and it's a combination of being let down by the system and people, but we're all human beings, we can all make errors. Being let down from that, opening up the mental health side of it to money worries, physical worries and all that sort of stuff, to now taking the meds, and the meds are now trying to do their job.
Yeah.
To being in that black hole, I didn't want to eat, didn't want to shower, didn't want to change my clothes. To do anything with True North, I was forcing myself. If I had to be there at 5 o'clock, I wouldn't leave till 5 to 5. I'd get there a couple of minutes late, which is not me. I'm usually 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early. I was in depression, and I knew that I was, and my missus has been fantastic through it, really supportive. I wouldn't sleep. I'm lucky to have 2-3 hours of sleep a night. I have to get up because then I don't want to wake the missus up watching TV and blah 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 and all that stuff. And the only thing that snapped me out of it, I've been talking to people about feeling like shit, not sleeping, all that sort of stuff. Nothing changing. And the only thing that snapped me out of it was Rory's 10th birthday last Friday, and we got asked to have a party down the hub for him. As soon as I seen him smile and come over with everyone and doing the banter and having a joke with everyone, coming over giving me a hug, gone.
Yeah, it was enough for you.
Instantly. It was just that catalyst, seeing him, being around him. And it's nothing to say that my kids don't do that and missus don't do that. It's just, it's like what we were saying about the build up to going to the gym and losing weight and your head's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It isn't just solely Rory. What it would have been is all my mates that are saying all these nice things, my daughter being cheeky and sassy, being proud of my eldest because she's made a big move in her life to move and start in college, Emmy doing well in school, my missus becoming more open with me, being a lot more relaxed with me and giving me less stress, and then seeing Rory. That's what it would have been.
Yeah,
it's the whole catalyst of it.
Build up a positive things.
Yeah. And it's what it does is it makes you realise that it's okay. It's okay to feel like that. And I've always had the depressive tendencies. Obviously the depression disorder, apparently I've had it for years and I've always gone through it. That's what the early 20s was. And what got me as well was seeing the stats, seeing the numbers. So you've got a professional now that isn't just going, you've got anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. He actually put it in number form on a piece of paper to what you are, where you're at. So the depression side of it was, before the crash, I was 20% likely to slip back in depression because of your support network, your family, your financials, your mentality. After the crash, it's now 95% because of what I was saying, how I was acting, and my experiences. So again, when you know that you're bad, but you think, shit, it's now really bad. Mm-hmm. It hits home.
Of course, yeah.
And also it's real.
Yeah.
Because what I've experienced recently is that, and I was saying at the start of the crash, to me, none of that was real. That's not me. I'm living a facade.
Yeah.
But then that's the protection in your head. That once it's real, that's when the shit hits the fan.
Of course, that's when it hits home.
And that's what happened with me.
Yeah.
Is I got let down, which I hate that anyway. I hate the way society's set up. Hate the doctors, hate the NHS, hate the way that you have to prove yourself tenfold to solicitors. And so like the crash, I've had the crash, my 15 grand bike Harley, my pride and joy, totaled, done. I just got it to how I wanted it, spent a load of money on it. I loved it. For me, a bike is part of you. It's your DNA, it's your spirit, it listens to your good, your bad, it goes through it with you. Same thing as some people feel like a dog. So that's been done, that's gone. I now can't work. My life's changed. Multiple operations, all the pain that I've gone through. The bloke that went through it, that hit me, right? So, gets his car taken away. He gets a courtesy car. He goes to work. Yeah, right, he's probably had mental trauma with me flying over his car. No sort of financial, no sort of worry. He actually whispered in my ear when I was on the floor saying what hospital are you going to so you can pay for my car, which was nice. And then it goes to court. I didn't get told about the court date. He goes to court. He has a 350 quid fine and a 12-month ban. That's it.
And you went through?
And I went through
a lot.
All that.
Yeah.
He was being charged with GBH. And he took the plea of causing serious harm by a motor vehicle and pleaded guilty to that. So all the video evidence, because he had a dash cam on, all the video evidence, all my evidence, all the medical records, never even get brought up.
Yeah, discarded as soon as he says guilty.
Yep. So we took the plea, took the guilty, so we got a 12-month ban and 350 quid fine. I got done doing 123 mile an hour, and I got a 2-week ban and a 1,500 quid fine. But the only reason why I got a 2-week ban is because back then there was a clause that if it takes 12 months to go from a copper to the court, they can't do you. It was 1 day. So because I had all this over for 12 months, they just went, right, we're going to take your licence off you for 2 weeks, but then you're going to give you a high fine.
Yeah.
So how can you correlate when I passed, I think it was 3 cars and one of them was a unmarked cop car, that and that penalty for someone changing somebody's life, causing all that, and he gets out. It just doesn't correlate to me. Like, I had a chance to appeal it, I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? Like, at the minute, physically, I've been dealing with the issues from the crash. Now it's my mental side of it. So at the moment, to answer the question, my mental health, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, it's in a black hole. It's, at the moment, it's a constant fight. But you've got to be in the fight to win it.
Yeah.
And with all the lessons that I've learned, through all the trauma, the abuse and everything that I've been through, they're all my tools.
You can get through.
They're all my lessons. And it's, I understand a lot more. So when I feel bad, I don't push. But then I have also learned as well, because before I used to push through it. Now I've learned to feel it, but then what I'm learning now is I've been feeling it a bit too much. I've been giving myself too much leniency. So I need to give myself, right, you've got a day. A day of feeling like cack, but then the next day, be productive.
That's what, like I said to you earlier on, like I'm running from mine and sometimes it does catch up with me, and that's okay. I always say to myself, if I'm having a bad morning, I'm going to have a better afternoon. If I'm having a bad afternoon, I'm going to start tomorrow fresh as a fucking daisy. And it helps me. Helps me. I can just write off that part of the day. And that does help me get through a lot of things. Now, just understanding your triggers and how you're feeling, and understand it's not going to last forever, and then how you talk to yourself to get through things. I find that helps.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I said, it's about understanding yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where I go back to the anxiety and depression side of it being a choice. We can all have everything under the sun. But the amount of times that I've gone and walked out that door and not wanted to, that's a choice.
Yeah.
And you can still achieve great things when you're not great yourself. But you do have to look after yourself.
Of course, yeah.
While you do that. I'm still practicing that. I always put myself last, and I always will put myself last. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, mate, we're learning and changing and evolving every day.
Yeah, I had this thing of a point in my life when I kept giving and I kept getting shut on. So I turned around to myself and I was like, right, I'm not going to do it anymore. But the trouble is I was really unhappy. And I'm only happy when I'm helping somebody. And that's where being selfish doesn't have to be a bad thing. And a lot of good things can come from being selfish.
Yeah, of course.
And that's where I'm at. The worst I feel, 9 times out of 10, I come up with a crazy idea. Crazy idea to benefit or help somebody. We created a road safety awareness event because a young lad got took out in the EP. There was we had to change a few things with it because there was a couple of issues. But the end game was we created a huge event, motorbike and a car event, to support people that were having road traffic collisions or try to stop the road traffic collisions.
Raising that awareness.
Yeah, create that awareness, but within that family unit. And it was a huge hit. It was great. But that come out of something really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. But that's just, my mind does run away with myself.
Dan, mate, I could sit and talk all day with you about mental health. We've been talking now for about 2 hours. Just, I could sit and talk all day. I can see the passion from you. I can see the passion with the True North. It's nice to see, mate, and I love hearing what you're doing, seeing what you're doing, just because you want to as well.
Yeah, come back in 12 months and
Exactly, yeah. Because you ain't gaining financially from it. You're giving up your own time after work. Everyone else is doing it when you could be spending it with the missus, with the kids, just to help others, mate. And big hats off to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Right, Dan, thank you very much for coming. I really do appreciate it, mate.
Anytime, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to From Rock Bottom. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe, like and share. It really helps us keep doing this work and bringing these stories to light. You can also follow us on social media for updates, behind the scenes content and ways to get involved in the conversation. Most importantly, if you're struggling right now, please don't suffer in silence. Reach out, talk to someone, seek support. You are not alone, and you are absolutely worth life. Take care, keep fighting, and we'll see you in the next episode.